Hey everybody, Debbie Starr here. Wanted to jump on and give you a little bit of training about Asana and how you can create a perfect project planning device or template that you can use over and over again. So if you followed me, you know that I'm a proponent of both Asana and Trello. I think there's great uses for both of them. Today, I'm going to focus in on Asana. What I'm going to show you with Asana, you can pretty much apply to Trello. Things are going to look just a little differently, but the same concepts. All right. So again, if you're watching this live through Facebook, if you want me to see your name in the comments, then you have to give permission. And if you're watching this on a replay, then make sure you give me some love hearts on that so that I can see that you're watching it on the replay. So project planning, let me just start with that briefly. I actually teach a full day project planning class, usually in the corporate environment. And we start out by saying, what makes a project versus your task and everything else? A project means it has a beginning and an end. If it never ends, then it's not a project. Okay, so that's really what defines if it's a project or just task or ongoing life in general. All right, so when you have a project, the first thing you need to do is you need like the 90-foot view so you can figure out what it is. You want to go from A to Z. What's the outcome, the tangible thing that you want to end up with? I'm going to keep using an example. I'm getting ready to launch a new online course called the Business Launchpad. So I'll use that as an example. It has a definitive end date, a date that I'm trying to hit, and it has a tangible outcome. The outcome is that course or that membership will be launched. Okay, so that's kind of how you measure the big picture. But how do you keep track of all of those miscellaneous tasks that you want to include in this project? Or what do you do with all those random thoughts that you don't want to forget? Like, oh yes, I need to do this or I need to do that. Using a tool like Asana is going to help you. So I am going to just share my screen here. And as always, I'm just going to give you a quick little tutorial on how to do it. So we're looking on the inside of Asana, and I'm going to show you a couple of cool little tricks here that you can do within Asana. The first thing I'm going to mention, if you've never used Asana before, think of Asana like separate bulletin boards or filing cabinets. Anything contained within that topic is what you would want to put on a board. So within Asana, each one of these you can see over here to the left, each one of these are separate projects, so to speak. Now, some of them technically aren't projects because they never end, but it's like one category, one main thing that you're working on. So I created a quick little project, and I'm going to create another one so you can see how I do it start to finish. And I'm just calling this project a template. Now, the nice thing in Asana, you can, if you'll see up here, you can look at it by list or you can look at it by board. And a lot of times when people are using Asana or Trello, they're used to seeing the board view. What's nice about the board view is what I think everybody loves is you can just grab these task cards and quickly slide them over to whatever appropriate column. Okay, so in this project template, the first column here, I just have basically the overview. So if somebody was going to be invited to this board to help me manage the project, or maybe they're the person who's contracted to get this project done, this is where I would put all of the administrative stuff. So the goals of the project, any administrative details, maybe there's some logins, all that kind of stuff, overall project description. Maybe you have some training videos, anything that's kind of admin related. Now, specifically, somebody had asked about one of their projects. Basically, they just want to map out their goals. So if you have 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, yearly goals, you could certainly use Asana or Trello, and you could just create that. So again, in this example that I'm showing you is, so let's say that, again, that I'm wanting to get my course launched, and I'm thinking in 3 months' time. Between you and I, that's way too long for me. I'd rather speed it up. But in this example, let's say that I have certain things that I know I need to get done in month 1, month 3, and I'm calling these milestones. So in other words, by month 3, we should be at a certain place in month 6 and so forth. Okay. Excuse me. And the key is when you create, I'm just going to click the little plus here. When you create a task card, the real power is when you start assigning due dates. Okay. So let's say, I'm just going to say, let me change this to my sales page. And if I just click on that, it opens up this window, and now I can add all kinds of details. If you have multiple people on your team, or even if you have like a VA, this is where you can assign other people. So I could click on this. So, excuse me, let's say that I wanted my VA to create the sales page. I could assign it to my VA. The important thing here is if there's no due date, it's not going to show up in the calendar view. So I'm just going to click on the calendar, and let's just say that I want this done by next Tuesday. So I just clicked on that, clicked on the date, and then the description, you know, again, create a long form sales page for the membership. Okay, if I could spell, we would be good. All right, so this is kind of the general description of this task. And then down here, again, if I'm sharing this information or I do have it assigned to somebody else, they could come here and they could add comments. So maybe they've started working on it, and they have a question, they could put the question here, or I'm just doing an update. All right, so I'll just close out of that. So now here, I have that assigned with a date. I'm going to click on another project that I had created here. So this one, or not project, sorry, task. So review final videos and sign off. I'm going to put a due date, again, just picking numbers randomly, or dates. And so now I have a date on there. So as you can see here, you're starting to see where you do have dates assigned and where you don't. Now the timeline, if you have the pro version, that allows you to actually see this as a real life, like a Gantt chart. So if you've used any kind of higher end project management tools out there, a Gantt chart gives you that little colored line and everybody that's assigned, and then it shows if you have tasks connected. We can't do this red task until the pink task is done, and so forth. If you need that level, then it certainly would make sense to upgrade it. In this example, it's not that detailed. And then when I click on the calendar view, then this is where you can start seeing things on the calendar. So now I only have a couple of things here showing up on my calendar, but you can see that the calendar view is awesome, especially for, I like to use the calendar view if I'm planning specific things. Let's say I'm doing a challenge, or I'm doing a build up to the actual launch. I might be doing activities every single day, 5 days a week. So by assigning those due dates and then looking here at the calendar view, I can see what's coming down the pike. All right. And again, within Asana, you can just come back up here and you can just go back and forth. So again, I'll just come back to the board view. Now, let me back up just a little bit. So I notice I've called this project a template. Let me create a new project. So over here on the left, there's a little plus sign. So I'm just going to click on that and I'm going to create a blank project. You can use templates and all of that kind of stuff. I'm just going to create a blank project. And I'm just going to call this project B. I'm just calling it a template. And when you create it in Asana, you have the choice of which way you're going to first create it. When I'm first creating a project, it's nice to do it in the list format, and I'll show you why in just a second. So I'm just going to go ahead and create that project. Now, excuse me, within Asana here, you can have section names. So let's see, what project do I want to do on this one? I'm just going to say my YouTube makeover, which is a project that I do need to work on. Actually, I'm just going to change this. I'm just, well, never mind. So if this whole project, let's say in addition to my membership course, I'm doing my YouTube makeover, I'm doing everything there. So now I'm just going to start adding some sections. And here's my admin. I'm going to say topics. And this should be plural. Let me say topics. Okay. So let's just say that I'm going to create a whole new YouTube channel, and these are the things that I'm going to be working on. So on topics, I might start creating the individual topic assignments. Asana beginner. You see where I'm going here. Okay, and then maybe I'm going to do the same thing for lack of thinking of what to say. Just going to put a couple in here just so you can get the idea. Okay, so when you're in the list view here, what's nice is you can click the little drop-down carrots. So you can start mapping out the higher level parts of that project, okay? So under my admin here, I might do something like the URLs, login credentials, link to photos, etc. Okay, so you could just continue down this list. And what I like again about the list view is it's easy. Basically, you're just building an outline here. So it's my YouTube, so some admin stuff, some topics. And so here, maybe I'm just going to say plan calendar dates. So maybe I'm going to do themes. Okay, so you get the idea. And maybe I'm going to do a master theme list. Okay. So again, you just continue to add all of these. So now if I come up here to my board, now we see that here's the different individual tasks based on those columns. I'm going to show you something else that is super powerful within Asana, and I don't know if you can do this in Trello or not. So over here, it's my whole list of different projects, and I'm just going to grab project B and drag it up. So now notice I have project A, template, project B, template, and then I have something under here called master project. So you might have some people working with you, or you might be more of an agency organization where you're doing some projects for somebody else, and you're, they've outsourced this, and they might want to know They're not going to dig into Asana, but they just kind of want the very high level. So within Asana, what you can do is you can actually, so if you just click in this view, it gives you more details here. So it's just another way of doing it. But if you click the Tab key and P, key for project, look what happens. It shows all of my projects. And again, the project is kind of like the filing cabinet, everything connected to that project. And look what pops up, all of my projects. And here's my master project template. I'm going to click on that. And do you see now under projects, I have 2 items under that project. Now, just hang with me in just a minute here, and this is going to make more sense. I clicked on another task. I'm going to do tab P again for project, and I'm going to click on master template. And maybe I'll just randomly pick a date for this so it makes more sense. Okay. And again, when you're in the project, you can look at the list view, you can look at the board view, either way. I'm going to come over here and over here to the left where I see all of my projects. I'm going to click on my master project template. I'm just going to roll these up just a little bit. In this project, this is just basically a shared location. And if there's certain tasks, not every single task, but just certain tasks that I want this, I'll call it an administrator. If I want the administrator just to see those major tasks, by assigning it to 2 different ones, only those show up here. So if I click on that, excuse me, see all of these tasks. These tasks got added when I was in project A, and I just did that tab P. So it's assigning them to both places. The beauty is, let me go over here to board view. The beauty is, so again, if I'm like the administrator of all of these projects and I just want to see where we're at, and I'm looking, okay, this one has an assigned date of August 25th. Maybe I could say, you know what, let's push that out to September 1st. So I can change it here, but again, look what happens because this task basically is living in 2 different locations, it's going to update in both locations. So me as the administrator, I might say I change the due date to September. Okay. Anytime you do something, you always want to make sure that you document it. So again, if somebody else, let's say Susie, was actually assigned this project, she looks at it, then she can see down here, oh, okay, Debbie changed the date. All right. So the master project doesn't have all of those tasks assigned to it. It just has certain ones. So now I'm back on project A. I'm going to click on the board. Another very powerful thing is notice the things with the little blue banner. That is indicating to me that this task is actually shared on 2 different boards. So as I'm working in this project, I could I might at the certain point, let me move this over here. We'll pretend like this is a 6-month goal. As I'm looking at it, I'm going to open that up and let me just assign a date. Maybe we're doing the project planning of this. Okay, right now it's just assigned to project A. But this particular task, if I want my administrator to kind of be kept in the loop, just tab P for project. And I think I have to do it. Whoops. I have to do it out here, I think, under my list view. Tab P. And I'm going to assign it to the master project also. Okay. If I come back over here to my master project, then should be in here someplace. I forget now which one it was, but it automatically adds them to this. Okay. So I hope that's making sense. This is just a super fast, it's not really intended to train you, but to give you the idea of what can you do with Asana as far as mapping out projects. So again, first you come over here and you just click the plus sign and you create the project. When you're creating the project, if you do it in list view, it's really easy to add the sections, and the section is just a column within that board. And then as you press enter, then you can start adding all of the individual task items. When you click on the board view is what gives you this, they call it the Kanban view. So the Kanban view are the little cards, and again, it just makes it really easy to move those cards back and forth. And then one step further, when you do the tab P for projects, then what happens is you have to create that first, let me scoot this back over, you have to create that project so that it's there, but tab P, and just like this little indicator bar shows you that this task is added to multiple projects. So then the administrator of the project, all they need to do is hop over here in their master project list, and they can just look at the board and they can see what things are coming up, if there's a date, so forth. They can change it, they can do whatever. So again, here's all these Project A milestone activities that we're adding there. So as the administrator, I don't have to get bogged down into all of the details. I can just look at that. And then you, if you're actually working on that project, then you can look at it individually in that project. And again, you can look at it through list or board. And again, if you click on the calendar view, then that shows you when you can start seeing everything based on your calendar. So it's a great way to map that out if you visually need to see where is this going to fall? Is this going to conflict with any other activities that we have going on? So let me just stop sharing screen here, and I'll bring this back so that you can see me. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Again, just barely scratching the surface, but with Asana, it's very powerful. You can do a lot of project management and planning with it. You can share these boards with other people. And most of all, you can create a master project. And then when you're in the individual projects, just by doing tab P for project, you can assign it to multiple projects. How cool is that? So then you can have somebody that just sees the high level. So as always, give me your questions, your comments down below, and let me know what other kinds of training you would like. I'm all about teaching you about systems, teaching you about automations and funnels, and how you can easily build a business. You can streamline your business so that you're not working 12, 14 hours a day. All right. Thanks for spending your time with me. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit the subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next training. All right. Take care.